We all want to live until we die. And pat and cliche as that might be, it's not quite as easy as it sounds. It's not quite as easy as it sounds. A lot of people focus on the latter portion of the expression die. You know, like, let's avoid that. The best way to live until we die is to hold death at bay as long as possible. But many of us have gone through self-destructive periods of our lives. Live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse kind of crap. In talking with many of my peers, many of us are just astonished that we manage to be as old as we are, because we certainly weren't trying. That certainly is not a reflection of our intent. And I'm not talking about literal self-destruction, so much as just complete indifference to the perpetuity of our own being. One of the ways that part of that is the thrill of exploring the lines between life and death. We often call this kind of behavior risk-seeking. Extreme sports, or just a crazy partying life, or that sort of thing. But we look at human cultures in a very broad sense, and particularly the further away we get away from the geography of the Alexandrian conquest, the Aristotelian world, the further away we get from that, the more we see a validation of, first, the inevitability of death, but second, the necessity of having explored those bounds to some degree in order to appreciate life and appreciate one's own potency in it. That we are alive in every possible emphatic sense of the word until we die. One of the ways that I explored that was through dance, and at this period in my life, my days were spent 9, 10, 12 hours even sometimes in the studio. Bar and floor. And the level of dedication on the part of some of my fellow dancers was, well, certainly edged into self-destructive territory. Grim as the image may be, and it is rather grim. There was more than one occasion where a dancer would take off her shoes and pour out a few tablespoons of blood that had accumulated in them. I took that sensibility into my nightlife, and after a day of ballet or modern, a day of Tchaikovsky or Graham, I would spend my nights with Plastic Man, or with Crystal Method, or with Apocalyptica Berserk, or Zymox. I would hit the floor just as hard as I could. And On more than one occasion, I arrhythmiated on the dance floor. Nothing genuinely life-threatening, but certainly frightening. Although at the time, fear was not what I felt. At the time, what I felt was recognition, revelation. As if to say, this is the line. At varying points in time, I've been confused by, or downright contemptuous of, persons who pursued such things half-heartedly, who engaged in their lives half-heartedly.